Learn that the kitchen is, when you know those relationships exist, that you start leaning on them and you start pouring into them. Because they need you just as bad as you need them. Does this make sense? Questions about the house? Yes?
Do you find that the kitchen folks are more family, more friends, more people that can relate to what you're dealing with?
Great question. So the question was, who's in the kitchen? Family, friends, relatable, like, you know, has anybody found a possible kitchen person at the conference? Maybe, who knows, right? This is where we find kitchen people. I think a lot of times, I have a lot of people that I do therapy with, their families on the porch. And that's okay, guys. This is what we're talking about. And this is, you gotta remind yourselves that in these chronic illnesses, you know, like there's just so many unrelatables. And it's not that they don't want to relate, it's just that they're probably uncomfortable too. They have no idea, they want to maybe be there for you, but they have no clue as to how to do it, right? And maybe we need to give them that information and work on giving that information, but also maybe they're just incapable and maybe that you can still love them on the porch.
I think sometimes those people want to fix
Yes,
the situation.
the fixers.
I just want you to listen.
Yep. And the kitchen knows that listening is what you need. Yes?
I know someone made a comment to me about, we're making too big a deal out of this. Well, that we're doing a fundraiser and we want to participate. Sorry.
She said that sometimes, and I'm sure we all experience this, I know we have, that individuals make this too big, like you're making this too big of a situation. Oh, your kid's got arthritis.
Yeah, big deal.
Big deal.
And, you know, and there's other kids that, you know, so you feel awkward, and I'm using the families, not close friends, and I was really taken back by it. And I didn't know how to respond, and I said, if you don't want to hear it, then I won't bother you.
Yes.
But this is part of my life.
Yeah.
Taking care of my granddaughter.
Right, and once you get there, right, and these lines are very important. And I should have said more about that. Every line you see on here is a boundary. Every line, you know, sometimes it takes a really thick marker to draw. I mean, the porch line is just not big enough, right?
Yeah.
You need to shut the door sometimes. And you're not, and like once again, so in that comment, I'm, you know, what do I do with family members maybe that just don't get it, right? That you know, they're, like you're feeling like they just don't care. Like sometimes I suggest writing an email and letting them know everything that's going on rather than trying to talk to them about it. But then even in the response, understanding that sometimes they just need to be in porch. And you can't, once again, our emotional selves are asking them to be either even in like the in-between hallway, like we want our family members to be in that hallway at least in the kitchen. We're like, how can they not be how can you just be so selfish not to know what, I mean, you don't see what's happening at my house every single day. And why don't you see it? Right?
Yeah.
And we get mad and frustrated.
Yeah.
But that only builds up to burnout.
Okay.
And so to compartmentalize those emotions, to help ourselves to manage those and to kind of process those and know where they go, we put them on the porch, the living room, in the hallway between, or in the kitchen, so that we can start thinking about like the expectations that we're having for others that we just can't go to for. Yeah. Yes.
I think this is a great analogy. I'm just wondering how many, or is this a burnout sign or whatever? I feel like I'm sacrificing my kitchen for my daughter's kitchen.
There you go.
Does that make sense? Like, I just want her to have some nice relationships, that she can count on people. And then, I don't know, that's all I have to say. You know, I feel like I'm sacrificing my kitchen to have my daughter build a kitchen.
Sure. I think, I don't know how many people do you all feel like you're sacrificing a lot of kitchen time because of the illness? Sure. And I think that's so relatable. I guess word of advice, I think, on the same end would be, you know, what boundaries can you make for yourself, and that your daughter knows that you've made for yourself. And telling her about, like, you know, I'm gonna have some time. If you feel kind of squeamish about like saying like I'm gonna go out and have fun tonight. I'm sorry that I'm leaving you here, you know. have the conversation of, you know, or think about having the conversation of, hey, you know, here's why, here's why I need to take care of myself. And this is so important because I need you to learn how to take care of yourself as an adult too. We're teaching them, right? If you don't have the boundary, how does she learn how to have the boundary? Does that make sense? So yes, you probably are. It would be the answer to that. Then that. We're doing question and answer. Anita, you want to come on up? Yeah. Okay, she doesn't want to. Let me get a chair. Yeah. So, well, let's introduce. You want to come on up? So this is Jason and.
Yeah, you should remember. She announced it to the whole conference.
The wife of Jason. Yeah, these are also parents, and they're here to help facilitate and answer questions too. Lindsay, if you want to answer questions, she's up there too. She likes to answer stuff. And Robin can moderate anything. Just get out of control. We're pretty intense. So if you have a specific question for one of us, maybe you just orient that. And then
just a question.
I just moderated. Sorry.
So. So my daughter is 11 now, and when she was born with 8 heart defects and chromosome deletion and just a bunch of everything. So it's been stress nonstop since she was born. She was diagnosed with JA when she was 2. My family and the majority of my friends, I don't know if it's their way of coping, helping, whatever, but they all think she's going to grow out of it, and the chromosome's going to magically grow back, and she's fine.
Who's heard it? Yeah.
I mean, I have 0 family support. My husband's military, he's never home. We live 14 hours away from home. And my daughter's had 4 heart surgeries. And literally her last heart surgery, my husband was deployed. And my 3 other children had a flip-flop between friends because I didn't have nowhere to take them. You can't take them to the hospital, you know, whatever. My question kind of is, how do you make people understand that, like, aside from screaming out, I need you, how do you make them understand that it's not going to go away? Between all of this, and I thought it was a brilliant idea to go to nursing school, so I'm also you know, you mentioned earlier, the part where you said, if I only had a gun right now. I mean, like, we joke a lot, but I tell my kids multiple times a day that I would love to start a pistol all the time. Just like, I'm done. I need a break away from it. I can't have it. I don't get it, you know. So how are you supposed to make people understand?
Go ahead. Okay, so I mean, anybody else has any advice or anything like that? Go ahead. I think so individuals that are having a hard time understanding where you're at, right? Maybe they even talk before you're done talking, or they
complete lack of interest at all.
Lack of interest.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of time. So this is somebody you're trying that you should be in your kitchen, or is you thought or you think is starting wants to be in your kitchen.
My biggest problem is my mom.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Since it's your mom, I would go ahead and ask about the avoidance. I would go ahead and say, Mom, I'm just wondering, you know, if you're scared, I'm wondering, and I'd use some primary emotion words. I say, you know, because every time I try, I need somebody to be here for me, and I'd tell her exactly what you're kind of needing, and I'd go ahead and lead with, I can understand if you're scared. I can understand if you feel like it's too much for you. I can understand if this is overwhelming, or, you know, whatever it is. You know, I can understand if you ever want to suck a pistol. Don't say that. But go ahead. Does that make sense?
It does. I think that's challenging too.
Yes.
So my mother has asthma. You know, so it is hereditary. And I think when my daughter was younger and was under control because my mom's discontrol, that there was a lot of fear on her part of, this is my granddaughter, oh my gosh. But then some anger at me about, well, it's triggers, you should be monitoring it. And I was like, so what I ended up doing, I think you have 2 options. I think you can say to people, I've noticed that when I'm talking to you that you seem distracted, uninterested, whatever it might be. What is that about? Because I need to know how to approach you or if I should approach you. Another option would be, but the problem with that is that it's you still taking care of someone else, which doesn't help. Another way to do that is to say, oh, you know what? I think I'm in a stress-free zone right now, so I've had more time to think about how I can stay here. And I've noticed that one of the things that makes me more stressed is when I come to you about it and you don't respond in the way that I need to help me with my stress. And then that puts it back on them, and they can talk about whether they're afraid. I mean, it opens the door in a way that's not judgmental, but also in a way where you're saying, oh, I need help. And so I'm coming to you in a way that says I need help. And now it's your turn to take responsibility for helping me or not.
Just to kind of add to that, first I'd say you can't make anyone do anything.
Right.
Nor is it your responsibility to get their head removed from a certain place. I get it. We've gone through that with my husband's family very recently. We have our JA kid who's 11. Our 9-year-old has epilepsy and some crazy neuro stuff. For the last 9 months, they cannot figure out 4 hospital systems in different states. I mean, it's been a nightmare for our family this year. And my husband's parents, my husband's an only, and they always insist on going on these big vacations every year. All they want to do is travel with us. Fine. After this last vacation, they were actually supposed to help out and come stay with our kids so I could go on a trip with my mom and get a breather. And they told my husband point blank that they can't handle our children. And when are we putting our youngest back on the ADHD meds? And my husband has been going through some stuff because he realized that his parents are like, we're not on the porch anymore, we're on the driveway.
Yes.
Like, I'm handing them the keys.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, like we're done, you know. So, you know, and my parents are the total opposite. They live with us and they are getting just as dirty as we are in everything. So for my husband, he's going through that. They should be, and we're trying to help him understand you can't make them do that. You can't, you know, you don't want to get stuck in the coulda, woulda, shoulda. So the approach we're taking with it, and with other people that maybe have backed off as our daughter has gotten sicker and it's gotten really crazier, is that I'm not asking for support or I'm asking for more concrete things. Can you take Jaden to swim team this week? You know, for his parents, we've stopped inviting them and they're like, don't you want us to come down? We're like, no, we're too busy. Like, we're building that wall right now. But I might ask, would you mind FaceTiming with Lily while I do that? Like, I'm asking for more concrete, surfacey things. That's kind of on that to-do list. You know, asking people, hey, can you take, you know, can Jaden spend the night? Can he, you know, go to dinner with you guys while we do with Lily? They don't need to know the details, but sometimes asking for more concrete things that seem on the surface that don't make people feel like they have to get into your stuff. It can be a way to kind of get some more help on board.
Yeah.
And I would add to that, I mean, what you're really describing is complicated grief.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay for us to say we have complicated grief around the illness, the stress it causes, and there's anger, denial, trying to understand all of those things. Family members' reactions to it can complicate your own grieving process. And you don't have to be responsible for understanding their grieving process. You can put a boundary around that. Same with families and friends, or frustration with the medical profession. You have to remind yourself always, this grief, it's okay to have. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to sit. I give myself 15 minutes to sit with sadness. And I like Terms of Endearment. It is my cry movie. I fast forward right to the part where little boys come in the room to say goodbye to their dying mother. It only takes me 30 seconds to cry. And I will set a timer for 15 minutes. And when it buzzes, I'll get tissues. I feel like it's better. It's never going to go away. But it's okay to sit in that depression and that grief. And I think that's one of the things that when we're mindful and we feel that pain, we get out of it as quickly as possible. Because it feels like we're going to drown in it and never come out of it. But you won't. That timer is to be in it. Realize it's complicated. Realize it's worse because you cannot change or control other people. And be okay with that in some way. I have TTT on my calendar because I'm ruled by the calendar meetings and things. And TTT is my time on the floor in my office for 15 minutes just to be by myself. It's time to think. I build that in because I know if I'm stressed and it's a heavy day, and I don't have a TTT moment somewhere in the day, then it's gonna be worse for me. And I'm okay with that. My assistant knows, and people say, is she in there? The light's on. She's like, she's at TTT, and no one knows but me and her what that means. And they go, oh, okay. What? So they come back in 20 minutes. And it's okay. We'll do what I need to. Sometimes I'm in the dark and come out and turn the light on. People are like, what is here? But it's me. I need to take care of myself. I have TTT in the morning. My children know, don't talk to me between 6 and 6:10 unless you're bleeding, and even then you can just stop it. Because I need okay, I've made it, we're all alive, but I gotta get the energy to get out of the bed. So when my family comes, sometimes I do a TTT moment. Text me when you get off the expressway, breathe, TTT, let's all and breathe, and that's okay. Learn to find ways to take care of yourself, learn to do boundaries. Tell people you're doing boundaries because it's self-care. It's nothing personal, I love you, but it hurts me. And I've learned that when I'm hurting, I'm less available to my child, and that person is first. And so,
I feel like part of that too is we're kind of in the same boat, not as far as the distance, but both of our families, we live here now. We're about 25 minutes from here. Thank you. Both of our families are in Ohio, so they're about 2.5 hours away, but I think it's also okay to realize that you don't have to force those relationships. And like someone said earlier, that kitchen, like we've made really, really good friends here in Indy, and we finally have kind of a support system, and they take our kids and they, we'll take them to baseball one night, they'll take them to wrestling the next night, and things like that. But there comes a point when you stop stressing that relationship and just realize that's the way it is, and and that's it, and that's okay too.
Yeah, and I'd say too that between both our families, there's one side that's more involved with us than the other side, and so there's a balance there. You have one side, whether it be my side, that's extremely involved with the kids, maybe not true, but they're extremely involved with the kids, and then the other side feels like they don't know where their place is too. So it's just trying to find that balance between.
And that's normal for all families. That's the other thing to tell yourself.
Yeah, a lot of normalcy.
Well, I found recently that I've let my grandfather, which is the kid's grandfather, come with us to some of the infusions and stuff. So once we did that, they started realizing, hey, this is a big thing. Because I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old trying to take to an infusion, and that is hard. When you got a 2-year-old that's fighting the whole time. So I found that it's more easier if they come to you, they can understand more, because I've had all the experts in my family that I can handle. I just quit dealing with them. I'm like, you know what, I'll see you at family gatherings, but that's it. As far as coming to my house or being involved, I've had to cut ties because it's too overwhelming and too stressful. So that's how I found to deal with it. It's easier. But how do you go about having somebody that can come in and help be a caregiver, like a babysitter or something? How do you go through the process of finding somebody that's going to be perfect for your family? That's where I'm at, because babysitting is non-existent. My family lives 2 miles from me. And to get them to do something is, oh, I can't handle the kids, or I can't handle the 2-year-old, but you're not around enough to know about the 2-year-old. You only hear these stories from other family members that's been around when he's had a fit somewhere or something like that. So how do I go about finding someone that I can trust, someone to come in and learn my child and not be overwhelmed when they first get into it?
Does anybody use a respite care at all, like an actual respite care service? Like a lot of state.
Care.com.
Yeah. So care.com is an excellent thing to look at. They all have profiles. You can look at who they are before they come in. You can tell them, you can contact them and say, here's what we're looking for. Here's what's going on in the house. Does this feel like it's something you could do? You interview them before they come in. It's a great website. A lot of the college students that I have in the area, they actually work for care.com. And it's affordable and it's good. I don't know if it's around your area.
It is around, but I've been nervous because I used to be a caregiver for the elderly, so I know, certain things to look for. But when it comes to your child who you want to, I want to put cameras in and watch these people with my child. That's where I'm at with it, because I'm like nervous.
We have cameras in our house.
I'm no lie.
We've changed sitters, like, so it's absurd. But and that's okay too. On no notice, where I was just like, it's not working. I don't even need to have a reason. It's just not working, and I don't. So.
And also, like, the definition of perfect. Okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, what's good enough?
Yeah.
And what you know what I mean. So just be aware of that. For us as parents, as caregivers, we want things. you know, we're dealing with doctors constantly, we're dealing, right? So we want to be really super aware of, you know, okay, so you know, here's the things that will really need to be important on our list. Drop the rest of it so that you can take care of yourself.
Yeah. And if you're near a university, I would use those students. I use occupational therapy and physical therapy students because they've got and nursing occasionally, but they have a background, they have a sensitivity towards, and it's something they can put on their resume in terms of volunteering or helping. It helps to not have to do all of the here's the this and here's the this and here's the this.
Yeah, because we're near Liberty, which is 2 miles from us too. So and they have the nursing school and all that going on there, and I'm just a little nervous about it because you know when you got a child.
Yeah, but I get email requests as a dean, and I'll send the program directors, but I think we know students better. But our students are always chomping at the bit for those opportunities because it helps them to increase their exposure. To make them feel more comfortable, it boosts them when they're looking for clinical placements to say, I they do that for a child or whatever.
Yeah.
So and even care.com will, if you want specific university students in particular majors, you can search in that way and get those. It's better if that layer of trying to explain the medical piece is done.
Yeah.
They have a different sort of caring approach to that.
One of the things you might want to do is reach out to other RA parents. I have a 14-year-old that's been through Red Cross babysitting training, has a 12-year-old sister, has RA, so understands it. Reach out to your local community of arthritis parents.
The foundation of your area might have a list.
Exactly.
Yep.
Back to families with folks in the military, and if your husband hasn't been in town for surgeries, get a hold of the Red Cross. I happen to volunteer for the Red Cross, and our services to the armed forces will help you. Do not forget them.
Good information. Come back.
And just one other suggestion, you don't have to dive in to a full babysitting night or day. If you find somebody that you think might work, have them come over and say, hey, I'm not gonna leave the house, I just need you to watch the kids and do this while I pay bills, go for a walk, take a bath with that glass of wine, whatever it is, to give you that and start building a trust with someone that way, and you'll find somebody that you really like, and before you know it, like, why didn't I go out for 5 hours earlier? So I found that having that, starting out with that level when you're trying to find someone is good.
I just wanted to let the mom know that if she wants to make a connection, I would love to. My JA daughter also just had her first of 3 heart surgeries, so I would love to connect with you, even though we're in different states.
That'd be great.
Great.
Kind of along the same token, if you would like somebody else to speak to, I'm kind of in a similar situation, but I'm divorced and I have 4 children that I take care of by myself, and my relationship with my mom isn't very good either. So I guess my question though would be, like, when you get to that burnout stage and you don't have a support system, what do you do for yourself?
Yeah. I think, you know, I'm a therapist, so you might imagine what's about ready to come out of my mouth.
Right.
Some of his good friends are therapists.
Some of my good friends are therapists. You should find yourself a therapist. Find yourself that support. Find somebody. You know, I can only imagine what expenses you have. There are therapists that, it's a code of ethics. So you need to have a very honest conversation about that with the individuals when you, I would say to you, I'm going to say to you right now, we're not very good business people either. So when you don't get a reply, it's not because we hate you. It is absolutely because we are overwhelmed and we're trying to run a private business. So what I mean by that, email a lot of them that you like. Go to Psychology Today, go to Good Therapy Today. You can, people who are like LMFTs or something like that, you can go to the National AMFT website, look for someone in your area if you really want to, like family dynamics stuff in particular. The thing to do is just to let them know that you're in need, you're burnt out. Give them a little bit of the story in the email, and then also let them know where your finances are, and ask just if they'd be willing to meet with you in the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I think there's also, trying to get into organizations in the community. that can help you too. I wish I was a social worker, so I would know some of those organizations. But I'm sure, you know, even the Arthritis Foundation, you know, contacting them and asking them, hey, can you help me connect with people around my area that could have similar stories, just like you did in here. You know, taking that daring move and saying, I need you in my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And I would suggest churches. Churches often have pastoral counselings or counseling ministries that are free. I have even, because I have no shame now, when I need help, I need help. I've gone, those churches at Bible studies or women's groups or men's groups on a Wednesday night, and the kids are like, where are we going? We don't go to this church. I'm like, I know, but they're open. Well, and I have been like, this is really weird. Hey, interrupted Bible study, I'll talk about it. I need someone to pray for me at the end. I mean, when you get to this spot where you're feeling like you're so burned out that you need help, I always remind myself, like, if I don't get up tomorrow, no one helps these kids.
Right.
And so I don't have any shame about going to ask for help. Churches are great in terms of ministries, people that will walk alongside of you, and not in a way to proselytize or convert you, just it's about the love. So it's important to sort of just contact them and reach out. You'll be surprised that even here, we've already got like 10 connections. As soon as you say, I have a need for this, someone goes, been down that road yesterday. So take the courage to do that.
We have family, of course, that is everybody's the way it is. How do you get to a point where you can have your family stop relating it back to them? It's always back to them. Oh, I got that too. Oh, you know, I can imagine because I have this. How do you control that?
You can't. You can make them make it relate back to you. You know what? I heard that story last time, and that didn't work for us. So could I throw out some more things that might be different?
And being super honest with them. I mean, to be very honest with you, like, boundaries only happen when we make them happen, you know? And so, and this is, you know, in order to, when a family member is talking to me, you know, and it's a repeated trying conversation, you know, like maybe we go over there every Sunday or whatever it is for dinner, and it's the constant, like, that what you're saying, I'll say, you know, I really just need you to listen to me. And I want to listen to you too. You know, I've actually front-loaded the conversations. I'll say, I'd love to listen to you. Do you mind, like, if I take 5 minutes of your time? And I'll describe where all you're doing is hearing what's on my heart and how I'm hurting. And you know, I want everybody in this room, if we want people to engage with us, we use what are called primary emotions. If we're trying for it, right? We want to use hurting, you know, sadness. I'm feeling, like, you want really big feeling words to slow people down, so that they kind of, it's like, you know, pull it on their ear. But at the same time, we can't force them.
You know, you make a good point, not a question. Sometimes I blame myself, passing this disease on to my in-law. I don't know how bad people feel this way.
She stated that she.
It's like that there's this room for our women and not did it.
Yeah.
And I broke my heart.
You didn't design her genes, though.
Yeah, you didn't.
I think they are all with you, I'm with you. I tell myself that all the time. It's a chronic illness, it's hereditary, but I didn't design the genes. The blessing is that you've gone through it, you know how to cope, and then you have to rely on, okay, at least I've got a history, at least I've tried things, at least I know some successes, but don't blame yourself.
The other is that this is my mother. Side with her, she's the only one who can connect to my mother.
And that's a blessing in and of itself.
Yeah.
I mean, a special bond to have.
Exactly. Yeah, it is beautiful that you're able to connect to her on that level. Every single one of these kids, every single one of the adults needs relatable individuals. And it's not about, you know, why you're crying is because you feel the pain. Right? Yeah, absolutely. And she come alongside her, hold her, You know, yeah, then you're kicking some serious butt. And remind yourself of that.
Yeah, I could add to that. I'm the second of 3 generations of this. So my mom had it, raised me with it before we even knew what it was. And now my 11-year-old was diagnosed when he was 5, and my mom went through something similar because, in her mind, for half a moment before I kind of kicked her butt on it, was if she'd known how to raise me better with it.
Yeah.
Because now at 38, I'm still, having issues, but you know what? My kid's not gonna have the issues I'm having because of the advancement and everything we know now. The best thing about that is that because my mom had it, she taught me how to live with it. And when I get weak and fall down on my son, she picks me up. She picks up where I leave off. Now, I will say, when my son's diagnosis changed from poly to spondylo, I kind of did a happy dance because my husband's cousin has spondy. I'm like, it's not my crappy gene, it's your crappy gene. It's not my subtype, it's your subtype. So,
I told you it was your fault the whole time.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, see, finally. Well, then the joke is that my son absolutely looks nothing like my husband. He looks like my dad, but with my husband's height. So I'm like, oh, you complained, I didn't take after you. Look at that. But what you're doing out of the laughter through the tears is how we get through it. And I think that's the unique perspective we have with the multiple generations. I was talking to my mom last night. I'm like, this is our 3rd conference. Mom, you gotta come with us next year because there are other women in your generation, in your situation that are coming. And someone actually pulled me aside Thursday night and said, is your mom here by any chance? Because it is different for your generation than it is for mine, than it is for the kids.
This is a very helpful, this is my second year. In fact, we had the last year, went to your class, and my granddaughter did something a couple of weeks ago. Something triggered in my mind that you said, and we sat down, and she changed her attitude after listening to you. When you said, yes, it is helping the grandparents. And I do encourage the grandparents to come